Oh, just basking in the glory of having a full house at Haven House. What can I say? So, as we get closer to the holidays, we're going to see this all the way through now. And the funny thing was, when I was on we had some board members that were on the radio show in October, and I remember talking with somebody, one of my coworkers, saying that by the Monday of that weekend we were going to be completely full. So we have been completely full since the middle of October. I expect this to go all the way through until the middle of January. We have 21 people there right now, 13 are children.
And what are some of the factors in the time of year playing a role in whether or not you're going to have more people? Is it the weather? Is it the holiday season? What unfortunately makes that more?
Well, you know what, right now I don't really know why we filled up in the middle of October. Normally we have a little breathing space then, and then right about now we would be filling up. We filled up a month early. And I was actually in a meeting with some other social service agencies, and one of the agencies there was St. Jude's House. The other one was Rainbow Shelter in Gary. I can tell you those domestic violence shelters are full too. So for some reason, all of us have gone through the roof, but much earlier than what we normally anticipate.
And what happens, unfortunately, if things get too full like that? I mean, you have to turn people away, I would assume, or
there's a process with compliance in the state of Indiana that if all of us are full, then we are obligated to, and where the call originated, then we'll do what we've done in the past. We'll pull out our cots, our hideaway bed from the couch, and we take people there for an emergency basis. And then while they're there, because no one wants to be sleeping in your living room. But when you need to get somebody in safety, that's what you do. But in the meantime, what we do is keep calling other facilities to see if they have any room so it's a more comfortable setting for the client. But that doesn't always happen. I mean, with the way it is right now, I would almost expect that if we continue to get more people this weekend, that's a possibility. The bottom line is you want people to be safe.
219-845-1100 if you have any questions for Lisa Wine about Haven House or anything that might pertain to that. Again, 219-845-1100. And I know you wanted to send out some special thank yous to the Hammond Police Department. I know we were talking that before we came on the air, so I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Well, as everyone knows, I mean, when you're in a domestic violence shelter, you're not going to have kids outside trick-or-treating. It just, safety all the way around, not only... So you're not able to do that. And the other thing is you don't want to reveal the location of the emergency shelter. So I kind of said something to somebody in records, and it was kind of a joke. I didn't think anybody would take it seriously. I said, wouldn't it be neat if we could have the kids come down here trick-or-treating? So, well, evidently somebody liked the idea. I talked to a couple of people in a couple of women in the chief's office, and lo and behold, on Halloween we had kids dressed up. They were at records getting Halloween treats, and then they were at they went to the detective bureau, and then they were in traffic, and and that was my first time I had taken a tour of the Hammond Police Department, and at that time we had a handful of kids that came with us because most of the kids were in school. We had 26 people there at Haven House over Halloween, and 16 were children. So I think we had like 5 children with us that weren't in school. But the neat thing was, and I was not expecting this, they knew the number of children that weren't able to be there, so they had bags arranged for everyone that was not there. And the Hammond Police Department went out of their way to make sure those kids were going to have a nice Halloween. But the other thing I want to comment on, and it has to do with kids and their comfort level and what they're witnessing with domestic violence. Remember one of the young girls, and she took a look at the police officer right away, and she was looking at his weapon, and I looked at her face, and she was not smiling. I thought and the particular mom we had with us has been through sheer, in the biblical sense, hell with the domestic violence. Her abuser is very, very aggressive. And when I saw the face of that child looking at the officer, I had a feeling that she must have witnessed something or seen something between the parents and officers literally coming in to rescue the mom, but kids don't always understand that a lot of times officers have to arrest to make sure mom's safe from any further abuse. So it was kind of neat to see, especially this one child, to see her demeanor change as she was interacting with officers and with other personnel of the Hammond Police Department. I wish we could do more things like that, because the bottom line is, if my kids are going to trust, if they're going to be able to call the police if there's an emergency, and I hate to say this, but a lot of times kids are the ones who are calling for mom, it's important for them to have that comfort level. So the officers went out of their way to be very gentle with these kids, to be interactive with them. And like I say, the one child where I saw that, it was amazing to see her change in demeanor, because I saw her comfort level change. And they had some kind of robot they brought out there. I can't remember what it was, but it was absolutely amazing. You could see the kids really, if there was any distrust, all of it breaking down when they saw the robot, the characters. So the officers even knew how to help the kids relax. So it was an amazing afternoon there at the Hammond Police Department. I was really, really impressed how officers and staff that went out of their way to have these kids comfortable.
Hearing from Lisa Wine from the Haven House. Again, any questions? Anybody can call in or text 219-845-1100. Talk to Lisa Wine about anything you have that you might have suggestions or questions about anything she's mentioned for Haven House, anything going on there as well. Now with the police officers, the way unfortunately things have gotten so bad, it's great to see. And a lot of officers do stuff like this where they don't get the credit or don't get the headlines, and people don't even see it except the people they did the good deeds for. So it's great that you're getting kids involved and showing them, hey, I know there's some concerns with unfortunate things that have gone on in our country, but it's good to know, hey, most police officers are going to be people you can go to if you're having trouble with hopefully, unfortunately, it doesn't happen, but with domestic violence or any problems you might have. Police officer, a lot of times it's somebody you can trust and go to for that kind of help.
Well, we're really fortunate in Hammond. I've been at Haven House now, as probably a large part of your listening audience knows, for 19 years. But one of the things I've noticed that whenever Haven House has needed something, we've never had a problem with the Hammond Police Department. And I have to tell you, I can be kind of testy. I can be a thorn in people's side. I think one time I was running down the block trying to catch up with somebody in the Hammond Police Department. They were doing some kind of drive or something. I thought, boy, I'm going to really make an impression here. But I'm a very determined individual when I need something for Haven House. And God bless them. They're very tolerant of me. I don't see how they do it, but they're wonderful with Haven House. They're very responsive with staff when we need them, and I know the officers have a lot to do. So we're very fortunate in Hammond. I can't say that for all the for all the domestic violence shelters, with their departments. We are really blessed as far as that.
219-845-1100 again is the number to call. And I know you had just had an event last week. The Taste of the Holidays was last Thursday, November 3rd. How'd that go?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a wonderful event. We had some different vendors this year, and we were wondering how that would go, because it was a little bit of a change of what we've had over the years. But people seemed to enjoy the change in vendors that we had. They didn't, so it was very good. I like the Taste of the Holidays because that is my favorite fundraiser, because I get to mingle more with people even when I'm running around, because it's a more relaxed atmosphere. I like the idea that the people are talking with one another, they're sitting down, they're sampling things. It's just a nice atmosphere all the way around. And the Wicker Park staff are always wonderful with us, setting up for that event. So, and the other thing that was neat that evening is that the Mary Kay Foundation presented us that night with the oversized $20,000 check there. So that was really nice to be able to have the Mary Kay people there recognizing Haven House and with the money that we won for the emergency shelter.
And of course, most people know Mary Kay is the cosmetics. They sell the cosmetics. A lot of people locally will sell that. Explain to people what you had to do or what qualified you as winning that award of $20,000.
Well, it's a very competitive grant, and we were able to win it 2 years ago. So when you win it one year, you can't apply for the next year. And when I applied for the Mary Kay Foundation this year with a grant, there were so many more domestic violence programs competing, because what happened is that it was released through the coalition that the foundation, was accepting applications. With all the applications that came out, I just didn't think I had a a chance at all to secure this. So 3 domestic violence shelters won the money in the state of Indiana, and I was one of the 3. And I was shocked with all the competition I was up against. I did not expect that. And what was really kind of cool in all of this, the 2 programs that were awarded it, along with myself, are considered the top domestic violence shelters in the state. So to be in that company, to get to be awarded the $20,000 was really neat. And it was also neat because I was down in the coalition meeting. I had a person who was on the board there that recognized Haven House right away for getting winning the money. I'm not used to when I get a grant, I'm not used to getting that kind of attention. So it was a little bit different for me. I didn't realize people were that aware that Haven House had won this grant. So it was kind of cool.
Again, you're listening to Lisa Wine of the Haven House, 219-845-1100 if you have any questions or comments. And how did Mary Kay and the cosmetics company get involved with the domestic abuse, unfortunately, and stuff like that? How do they get into this program?
They're a very proactive group when it comes to dealing with women. There's been a strong focus on domestic violence for at least the last decade. They're very much on addressing health issues with women, and as you know, domestic violence definitely affects health. I know they focus, I believe, on cancer, they focus on heart, but domestic violence in terms of reducing violence overall, and their focus on victims, not only in terms of adults, but in terms of also with young people. They've really put their I guess the best way to put it is to put their money where their mouth is in terms of trying to make a difference with domestic violence, and they have really done that. So I commend them for being very focused on this and making it part of the priorities and fundraising at the foundation. And all the different groups, all the different Mary Kay people who sell this product, they're involved in raising money for the foundation. So it is amazing what they do across the United States.
And you see so many programs and companies, and now even it's gotten into, unfortunately, the sports have to see it happen too, where so many players, well, I don't want to say so many, but there have been instances that have been famous now where they even had some videos of one incident, and it's been so unfortunate that now at least you've seen the players and the sports themselves, the commissioners, have cracked down firmly on that kind of stuff. And I know the Cubs, I don't want to bring it back to that too much, but they had their closer who ended up helping them win the World Series with Chapman. And you have to hope that they get their second chance, which Chapman got and others have gotten to, and they take advantage of it, and hopefully never stuff like that ever happens again. And it's good that the sports, though, have cracked down. It's good that everybody's cracked down. It's come to the forefront, and I know a lot of these people have helped, and the players, too, have now been donating more and more. It's good to see all that stuff happening in a positive direction now, for sure.
Well, I think the benefit, if there's kind of a funny word to use with this, is that for people in the field of domestic violence, what came out with sports has really helped bring to attention again the need to address the issues of domestic violence, just not just with sports, but just across the board with all segments of society. And what it says is that if you're going to be addressing domestic violence with athletes, that says a lot about how our nation is moving steadily forward, trying to do something more proactive with the domestic violence. We've come a long way with domestic violence over the last 25 years, especially in the state of Indiana, but we still have a lot more to do. And one of the areas I can tell you is to continue to have consistent funding, and funding that's adequately going to address the needs of domestic violence shelters. We can't do our jobs if the money isn't available. I thank God for the Mary Kay Foundation, because a lot of our grants right now in the state of Indiana do have a delayed start, which means we have that much less to work with until the cash flow gets started. In the meantime, we don't stop taking people. I'm just very lucky that the Hammond community and the surrounding communities have been so supportive of Haven House. If we need something, they're there to help us. And I can't say enough about city government, the city of Hammond, and Mayor McDermott and what he has done for domestic violence. He has just been excellent.
Yeah, it is so great, too, because sometimes you have some money problems with the government, and they can't get you money because they run out. You can't just keep printing it and sending it over. So that's when the people and these foundations and all these businesses, they need to step up, and they have. And the Mary Kay Foundation, I'm sure $20,000 goes a long way, but probably still not as far as people think it does, because you constantly need, I know I look at the website here, and you need all the toiletries. It's never ending, and I'm sure you need a lot of that stuff right now, especially getting closer.
We need blankets right now. We need more blankets. And we'll use gently used blankets as well. They don't have to be brand new as long as they're gently used. But yeah, we need blankets. I can tell you can tell right now the weather is changing. So people have to be warm.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been unseasonably warm, thankfully, for a lot of this part of into November, and it helps keep down other bills, I'm sure, with keeping the heat on and stuff like that. So it's good that that's happened at least, but then it could turn right around. And we live in the Midwest. You never know what it's going to be one day today. And so I know we got a couple minutes left here, but tell people how, and I'm sure some people have heard it before, but tell people how and where they can take stuff to help you guys out, whether it just be simple toiletries or blankets, like you said, anything. Where can they take it to?
There's 2 locations that we have. We have the YMCA in Hammond. They're able to take donations, but they only do it on Fridays. I think it's like from 8 to 4, 9 to 5. And we'll also take donations at my administrative office there because it's not attached to the emergency shelter. And for people who want to drop off donations to the administrative office, they can reach myself or Annie at 931-9800. And that would be 9 to 5 during the week.
We got time for one phone from Highland Dave. You're on with Lisa Wine and the Haven House. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Dave.
How you guys doing? Hi, Lise.
Doing all right.
Great job with the taste. Great job with the taste.
It was wonderful. I couldn't get over
it. Turned out really well. Yeah, just really, really pleased to be part of it. And also, if you have larger items other than the immediate needs that we have, you can always take it. My daughter just took a truckload of stuff to Hearts in Motion in Munster, right on 45th there next to Gus Bach, Ace Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So you could always take things there. Yeah, she just took a big truckload there. And I just want people to think about the things that they take for granted when they open their medicine cabinet and there's toothpaste, there's underwear, there's feminine hygiene, there's hair shampoo, there's conditioner, there's body wash. These are the things we everything that everyone else takes for granted that's in your medicine cabinet: toilet paper, Kleenex, diapers. You know, we have a lot of kids. I know there was one time during the summer, and you mentioned the hot spots of the year, the holidays and hot weather. You know, we had one woman, she had 3 kids in diapers, so it's, you know, all sizes and things like that. And if anyone missed the radiothon, which we had a tremendous radiothon, I can't thank people enough how well our radiothon went, and winning the grant from Mary Kay, which is tremendous, and our taste. But we still, since we don't have a constant revenue stream for the transitional house, you can always go to havenhouse.org, hit the donate button, and give whatever you want, whenever it's convenient for you. It's very, very easy, very simple. And sometimes, Lisa, I'm just as shameless as you. We need your money. And
yes.
That's just the way it is. We need your money. And the daily consumable things we all take for granted that these victims and their dependents don't have.
And I think sometimes with transitional housing, people don't realize that, unlike the emergency shelter, that because this is another level of care and safety's already been stabilized, these are domestic violence victims that are going to be working or in the process of job hunting, but they don't have all the income revenue. They have a portion of revenue to help them sustain the transitional unit because they're getting accustomed to living on their own. So they pay a portion of their money to be able to live there. But the reason why we're able to hold down the costs for transitional housing is because of what people are able to donate financially. So I'm glad you brought that up, Dave, because one of the things we try to do is we don't charge we don't charge for utilities for the people living at transitional housing. That's a big cost savings in itself, but we are able to do that because of the generosity of the community. So good point, Dave.
Absolutely, the transitional house is exactly what it is labeled. It is a transitional house because legally we can only keep them in the shelter for 45 days.
Yes.
the board, the executive board, we try to pick candidates that are perfect to make that transition, and that's the whole concept of it. And it is a transitional life leg up. We're giving these people an opportunity to completely start their life over, and that costs money, and that's what we need. So anytime anyone can just go to havenhouse.org and donate whatever they can, it is greatly appreciated. Any amount, 5, 10, 20. And if somebody wants to get crazy, $100 or $1,000, we will be more than happy to take that as well.
That's right, Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for everything you do.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Dave. And we're just about out of time. And one thing you don't ever want to do is make the veterans wait, especially on Veterans Day, right?
I know. I don't want to disappoint the guys. They've done a wonderful job for our country.
Yeah, otherwise we'd keep going here a couple minutes. But we got to make sure we get the veterans here on time. So Pat O'Donnell and company will be here in just a couple seconds, and we'll get the veterans in right after this. Back in a minute on AM 1230, 104.7 FM. WJOB, the voice of the region.
And when the band plays Hail to the Chief, them boys can't have you
now exceed 300,000. More than 39,000 killed and more than 258,000 wounded. Here's a report from NBC.
Dear folks, this is your on-the-spot correspondent in the Big Nam reporting.
Hi, honey. I had a hell of a day yesterday. Dear Sue, thank you for the wingtips. Only one question. Where do I wear them in Vietnam?
Are long since you went away, my buddy.
Going to have to refuel, so he'll be breaking station shortly.
My buddy,
See if he can put an adjustment on.
your body misses you.
Good morning, all you military personnel, Navy, Army, Marines, wherever you may be, even the Air Force here right across from me.
That's right.
You're listening to Veterans Views radio program, and this is Veterans Day. And of course, today we honor all our veterans of all the wars. But before we begin the show, we'd like to thank the sponsors who make this Veterans Show possible. American Legion, Hammond Victory Post 168. DAV Chapter 17. They're located in Hammond, Indiana. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, located at 7207 Indianapolis Boulevard. You can reach them at www.prestimerinsurance.com. Calumet Park Cemetery and Funeral Chapel, owned and operated by a veteran, located at 2305 West 73rd Avenue in Maryville, Indiana. You can reach them at 219-769-8803 or the chapel at 219-736-5840. You can also call for a special veteran savings on a complete burial package. I'll be there today at 11 o'clock. And, of course, they have a ceremony, so if you're in the area, stop by. Bill Emerson, Hammond City Councilman of the 4th District. Whiting American Legion, Post 80 for hall rentals. You can call them at 219-659-0215. Easy Clean Car Wash, Highland, Sherrville, Lansing. They've been supporting our troops since Pearl Harbor. And today you can get a free car wash on Veterans Day today at Easy Clean Car Wash. So if you're a veteran, show your identification, you get a free car wash.
Where's that again, Pat?
That's Easy Clean Car Wash, and it's located in Sherrville, Lansing, and Highland.
Let's go get them.
And Dan Spitelli, Councilman at Large. And also Calumet Bakeries. They've been in business since 1935, located in Chicago, Lansing, and Whiting for all your baked goods, wedding, and holiday needs. And Jerry Shoup, 2nd District Commissioner, we thank all of you for donating and supporting the Veterans Views radio program. We got a lot of things on the plate today. Today is Veterans Day, and we've got a caller already on the line, I believe. And we're going to take that caller first, and we're going to go to Ernie, and we're going to go to Steve. We've got a lot of things and some tickets to give away. Go ahead, caller. You're on Veterans Views radio program.
Good morning. Have at it.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Carl.
It's John Sotomayor. How are you today, Mr. Dillon?
Oh, good, and we're all doing well here. You're from the tree man, right?
Correct.
You take trees down and remove branches. Thank you for calling in this morning. What's up, man?
I'd like to start off by wishing everyone a happy Veterans Day, especially one of my employees. He's from the 82nd Airborne, and I'd like to say a special thanks to him today.
We got an airborne guy across from us here this morning. Go ahead.
So I'd like to say a special thanks to him for all his hard work also, and especially all the veterans out there that give us 110% every day.
Well, we certainly appreciate that, and I want to thank you, and I'm glad you called in, and thank you for all that you do and the discounts that you give and the quality of your work, and I know you work on trees and those types of things. And before we move on here, do you have a little veterans discount going on today or this month?
For the whole month of November, we're going to give any veteran and veteran's family a discount.
The whole month?
The whole month of November.
Well, how would they
go back and show all our appreciation to the vets?
Well, how would they get in touch with you if they wanted to get a little tree service at that discount?
Our phone number is 361 area code 227-8885.
One more.
361-227-8885. And just call in and let us know that you're a veteran or a veteran's family, and we'll make sure we take care of you. Our estimates are free, and there ain't no job too big or too small for us.
Hey, that sounds good, and thank you for letting us know, and we'll pass that word along, and well, good luck in your business, and thank you for hiring veterans, too.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. You guys have a wonderful day, and again, happy Veterans Day.
Thank you. Good luck.
Number here is 219-845-1100, 219-845-1100. Today is Veterans Day, and of course, Veterans Day is a time for us to pay our respects to those who have served.
Harold Hall is going to give us the use of.
And Harold Hall, he's right here. You know what? We're going to bring Harold in here and have him sing a little Veterans Day song. It says, God bless the USA, support your military veterans. He just came in with a sign. Thank you very much, Harold. Let's bring him in here. Let's get Harold Hall in here to sing a song, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let's do.
But remember, today is Veterans Day. You got anything to say about us veterans? Well, you just call in and say it.
Hey, don't forget all the freebies today.
Yeah, we got to list those. But, Commander O'Donnell, let me throw this out this morning. And just a question. We have a bunch of tickets to give away for the Veterans Appreciation Day tomorrow. And so we would like for you to call in and answer this question. Here's an easy one now. What does the Hammond Veterans Day Parade mean to you? Or what does Veterans Day mean to you? Call us here at Veterans Views Radio Show 845-1100. And if you tell us the answer to that question, what does Veterans Day mean to you, or the Veterans Appreciation Day that Mayor McDermott put on along with the city of Hammond, we will give you some free tickets to their concert tomorrow night. So we'd appreciate that. And then the parade lineup is tomorrow. It's at Alcott and 173rd. And it's going to go down 173rd Street East to Hessville Park, and then at Hessville Park, Mayor McDermott and other guests. I know Bill Wellman is a guest speaker, and they're going to have a little military ceremony honoring our veterans, and we want to thank the city of Hammond for doing that. And again, we're expecting those phone lines to light up, and we're going to give you some tickets to the Veterans Appreciation Concert featuring M&R Rush and the Dancing Noodles, and that's at Civic Center. Doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime is 7. And if you want to ride in the parade, I think the mayor has a float, and there may be another float for military personnel to ride. And we'd like to have you come out, and you could probably even line up in the parade. And I should be there at 8 a.m. In the morning for lineup time on Alcott and 173rd with some Kevin Margraff and a few others, fellow Marine, and we want to wish the Marines a happy birthday. Yesterday was the Marine Corps League.
Hurrah, yes.
Hurrah, Simple Fi. So, Commander O'Donnell, that's about it for right now. And then we're going to go through this list, and we have a lot of freebies for today on Veterans Days. Different restaurants, different foods, car wash, and You name it, we got it. So we're going to be giving a shout out on that. So we're going to welcome our guest here. This is, well, we have a caller calling in, then we'll go to Harold. So is this Brenda?
It's Brenda, yes, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm excited because I'm wife of Cy Herder, who spent 26 years collectively in the Army and Navy. We had 4 of our 6 children in the Navy, and their names are Heidi, Heather, PJ, and Holly. Heidi is already retired. Heather is a Navy doctor and works on the East Coast there. So then following, our son was a submariner, and our daughter following was a lab tech and got to even be in Italy with the Navy. So we're a proud family.
Well, thank you for your family service to our country. Happy Veterans Day. And what does Veterans Day mean to you? We have 2 tickets if you're interested in going to a concert tomorrow night at Hammond Civic Center.
We're having family in. Let me see. That's tomorrow.
Well, if
yeah, you know what? We'll see if we can do that.
Well, we'll have the 2 tickets here for you, but you have to answer the question. What does Veterans Day mean to you?
It means that my family had 5 members that served well, and it means protecting and serving our country, which should be on everybody's heart, and it certainly is on ours.
Well, very good. And before we sign off, I'm going to put your name on the back of 2 tickets here at WJOB, and you can pick up the tickets. What name would you like for me to put on there? Cy?
That's good.
And how's that spelled?
C-Y.
Yeah, we know him well. Great person. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And we have another caller, Commander O'Donnell?
That's right, we do. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Veterans Court, and they need more mentors, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. All right, we got Pete. Pete, go ahead. Go on, Pete.
Good morning. Wow, what a great day to be able to talk to all you guys. On behalf of Honor Flight Chicago and myself and all my friends, we want to put out a shout-out and best wishes to all the veterans. I hope we all have a wonderful day and know that your country's behind you, and we all love you guys. And we just want to move forward. Regarding Honor Flight, we're done for this year, but we're constantly on the search all winter long. We'll be on the search for World War II and Korean vets, and we also we can start signing up Vietnam veterans. Unfortunately, they're going to kind of be in the back
Pete,
part of the list. So
yeah, you better hurry up because a lot of them are dying at a faster rate than the other vets.
I know. It's an issue we're trying to deal with. We're not sure exactly how to handle it, but remember that you guys, the Vietnam veterans, can fly out of Lafayette. So, and we think possibly out of Indianapolis. So we don't care where the guys fly from as long as they get there.
Okay, well that's good to know, Pete.
Yep.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Hope everybody has a wonderful day. I got the honor of tomorrow night. The Marine Corps League is having their annual ball out at Villa Cesare in Cherville, and I believe they got a brigadier general that's going to be there speaking. So
no, it's the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps.
Now we got a Marine right here, and
I'm so excited that I'm going to be there photographing all these guys. What a wonderful honor for me!
It certainly is.
Thank
I'll
you,
see
Pete.
you there tomorrow night, Pete.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Take
buddy.
care. Semper Fi.
Hoorah!
All right, we're going to have Harold Hall sing us a little song, right?
Let's find out who he is. You know what? We've heard his name, we heard about him, but who is this guy, Harold Hall? He's a Hammond Tech graduate and an Army vet.
An Army veteran, that's all.
We're going to get Harold over here on the microphone. Harold, tell us a little bit about you were in the military and you've been around a long time singing.
Well, I just, yeah.
Yankee Doodle Dandy, I heard this morning.
But I was in from 62 to 64, but I was not in combat.
It's all right.
Well, but you could have been.
Could have been because I was in when Kennedy was shot. I thought surely we were going to fight Russia at that time. I was in the second, I guess it was a Strak Force, Second Red Army, I believe it was called. And you trained and trained and trained and trained and trained. And they shipped you out about 4 different times, but you never really shipped out. It was just an exercise. But it was a frustrating experience. But it was still something that, you know, I benefited from, I guess. And so I am a member of the American Legion. And as you know, I love music, and I've been singing all my life. And
Now, if you could sing a song today, which song would you sing?
well, I'm going to sing tomorrow. I'm going to sing the national anthem out at the park, and so there are a number of
That's
songs.
after the Veterans Day Parade here at
That's
the,
after
at the
the
park
parade,
on
right,
Kennedy
yeah,
Avenue,
yeah.
Hestville Park.
And that's at 11 o'clock. They're going to kick off the ceremony. And as you know, I love to sing all kinds of things. Like Ernie says, I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. But I think right now I'd just like to sing something that is a simple song, but it tells a story too. It says, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my father died, land of the Pilgrim's Bride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Boy, that was great, Harold. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the veterans community. More than 2,100 Colorado veterans may have had their personal information compromised. The VA Eastern Colorado Healthcare System said this last Wednesday, at risk are the veterans' name and last 4 digits of their Social Security number and their diagnosis. Now, of course, there's been a lot of problems with the VA, and I just went through some of them recently. And of course, my wife was also affected by this because she had to make the calls. Just recently, a few days back on Wednesday, I had an incident. I had to call the VA hospital, and I'm going to ask Sylvia here, how long did it take you to get through? Tell me all and everybody out there what happened.
I placed 52 calls to Jesse Brown for authorization. My husband passed out and was taken to the emergency room and admitted. 52 calls later, I have still not gotten through and put it on redial, connected my phone to my cell, and took off for the hospital. And still to today, they have not responded to that call.
Now, if you're a 100% disabled veteran like some of us are, and you end up in an emergency room at a hospital, you have to notify the VA within, I think, 72 hours. And, of course, if you don't, then you end up paying the bill. Of course, when nobody answers the phones for 72 hours and you have called, how many different numbers did they give you, Sylvia?
I received 5 different numbers to call.
5 different numbers, and then when I did get released, I made some calls, and they gave me 5 different numbers, and none of them answered that call. So if you think there's no problems going on with the VA system, you better think again. Somebody's feeding you a line. And I'm going to say this to all the politicians out there. Let's get something done with this, because this is ridiculous. We've got waiting lines in Texas. We've got, the doctors have told me they're overbooked for appointments over there. Sometimes you can get in on your appointment on time, but a lot of times you can't, depending on what type of appointment it is. So, you know, we've got to do something about this. 219-845-1100 is the number here. Now, of course, as you know, the Colorado veterans have been compromised. Veterans are more likely to contact cancer, battle heart disease, and face substance abuse problems than their civilian peers, but are also less likely to see problems with their overall health, according to a new study that was released. Now, the report from the United Health Group and the Military Officers Association of America present a warning for civilian doctors that they may need to dig deeper into veterans' medical files to make sure health problems aren't being overlooked. So what they're saying is they're overlooking certain health problems in their files. So
maybe you're one of those.
Yeah, it's possible because they still haven't figured out what's going on. I mean, it's ridiculous. The study shows that the general population is going to be more forthcoming with symptoms and problems than those who have served. The survey, based on phone interviews with 400,000 veterans and civilians, found that 57% of male veterans and 56% of female veterans describe their overall health as very good or excellent. Only 51% of civilians in both groups reported the same. Researchers also found that veterans were more likely to be physically active than their civilian peers and more likely to have some type of health insurance. Veterans are more likely to contract cancer, battle heart disease, and face substance abuse problems, and I mentioned that. So the report was from the United Health Group and, of course, the Military Research Center, Officers Center. But they also saw that those positives may be obscuring some more serious health threats. Veterans under 40 were more often than their peers to get insufficient sleep, 50% to 36%, or pick up smoking, 26 to 21%. So obviously that the phone's ringing here.
Right.
And we're on the air right now, so of course, there's a lot of things happening in the veterans community, and we're certainly looking out to see what's going on.
And Commander, let me chime in here with what Sylvia was saying. With the conditions, as you have and many have, and to go through something like that, I've been pondering that for a moment here. That is horrible to have to go through something like that, to wait to get medical attention in a state of an emergency as you were.
Well, I just got out like yesterday, last night, and
just
of course
got out
my
of the
wife,
hospital.
right,
And here back on Veterans Views,
and we're on the air right now, and we're telling everybody that there's problems, and yet it seems like the directors can't fire anybody. Is this going to change?
Steve, has something like this crossed your path with yourself? Because I know
Several.
you've been to the VA quite a bit.
Several
and
times.
Had a lot of conditions you had to have.
My doctor
looked at.
says I'm a walking train wreck. Okay, I'm listed at 310% with everything that's wrong with me.
Now, if you want to make a call in here, 219-845-1100 is the number. This is Veterans Day. You're listening to Veterans Views radio program on WJOB at the Strachan Van Tills radio station. And, of course, a lot of things going on in the veterans community. Of course, we've got all the surveys here. Also, there's more veterans suffering from heart disease, 5.5% to 3.4%, and cancer. Also, we got a lot of callers calling, and we're going to take these calls. Go ahead. Go ahead, Andy. You're on Veterans Views radio program.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Andy Z from DAV 17 Hammond.
Hey, Andy.
Andy.
2 years ago, I was admitted to community hospital, and the VA authorized it, told me to stay as long as needed, all documented on community hospital records, and to this day, I am $1.4 million in the hole of community hospital.
Oh, boy, and you said the right thing. I'm telling you, all the people out there listening, we're going to change that.
Yes,
this is
we
going to
are.
have to change. And it has to change because my credit was affected. His credit's affected.
Mine is too.
And yours is too. By big time, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a shame what's happening. It's a terrible shame what's happening to the veterans. And this is Veterans Day, and to all of us, Veterans Day is every day.
Yes.
It's
Right.
not
Yes,
just
it
today
is.
on
Yes,
the
it is,
11th.
Commander.
And I'm starting to get worked up into a
just
fine
relax,
lather
just
after what Andy
take
just
your
told me
stress
over here. I'm
pill.
liable to be back in the hospital because I'm getting really, really upset here, Andy. You hit the nail right on the head. $5 million of bills that you have that they promised they would pay and haven't paid. Is that correct?
Yes, and then every time you call the emergency room, the first thing they say is go to the nearest hospital and blah, 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 we'll take care of it.
That's what they told me also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we'll take care of it until they see that building, and then they back out of it.
Right.
Right. And, just to add to that, when you get out of the military, your credit rating is a wreck because you don't have one, and you can't hardly get anything.
Yeah.
And have you notified your congressman or your senator?
Pete Pulaski I have on my emergency dial.
Okay. Because they need to know about this, and they need to know that this has got to change.
Got to.
Has to change immediately. And people have no idea what concept. In fact, the nurse at the hospital called the doctor's office and said, we've got a patient of yours, and he keeps passing out, and nobody knows what's going on, but you need to see your primary physician. So they call over there to make an appointment with the primary physician, and here's what they tell her. They tell the nurse, well, we've got him for an appointment in February. The nurse tells her he needs to be seen right away.
Yeah.
I
mean, what's going on? It's
Hey, Andy, let me just jump in here before we move on for our next caller. We want to thank the DAV for their donation to remember our falling, the display that was at the Indiana National Guard of all the military personnel that died since 9/11, and they had a great memorial there and a wall, and we appreciate your support for that, and thank you so much, and pass that message on. So we're going to move on to our next caller.
Yes, we are. We're going to move on. Thank you, Andy. And if you're not a mentor and you want to be a mentor, you can call and get a hold of Joe Quasney at the Veterans Court or Julie Cantrell, the judge, and they'll get you a mentor's application. Or at the next DAV meeting, just come up and ask me. I have applications for the Veterans Court.
And one more thing real quick, because we got a contest here. What does Veterans Day mean to you real quick? And then we'll leave 2 tickets here for you for the concert tomorrow night at WJOB.
Okay,
hey, Andy, thank you, buddy.
We got Bob on the line. Bob, you're on Veterans Reviews. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We're pretty heated up today, Bob.
Yeah. What did your wife call the fee authority, Michelle, at 312-569-7001?
Yes, she did all that. All that stuff was done, and nobody answered the phones. We did this for 2 days.
She's in from 6 a.m.
Right, we know that. We know all that, Bob. We investigated everything, but they only have tape machines you leave a message on, and they're supposed to get back to you. And just like the guy said that owes $1 point something million. Sometimes it's hit and miss. You call and they answer, and sometimes they don't. But we need people there that are going to answer, and if they can't do that, then they need to reevaluate the whole system.
I went through the same thing. I wound up having to pay $6,000.
This is ridiculous. This is terrible. And plus, it might have affected your credit.
Then when I went up there, I shattered the whole side of my face in Vietnam, and I was snorting all this, making noises out of my nose. And the one girl up there, she says, "Excuse you." Can you imagine that, talking to a disabled veteran with a war injury that's snorting, that has had a constant sinus drain, and she says, "Excuse you." I practically blew the ceiling out of the place.
I'll bet you did, Bob.
I had her. I think I had her job. I talked with the supervisor and everything. My wife was there. I'm telling you, I was hot.
Hey, before we go any further, Bob, by the way, happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Today's Bob's birthday.
Today's Bob's birthday, and yesterday was the Marine Corps' birthday, right?
And you, for all those out there, if you get a chance after our show's over, tune on to Price is Right, and you'll see Bob in Contestants Row.
All right.
Now, that's at 10 o'clock today?
10 o'clock today.
You'll see Steve, too, on The Price is Wrong. At 10 o'clock today.
Hey, Bob, are you a veteran by chance?
Am I a veteran? Are you kidding me? I'm a former Green Beret, 3 tours Vietnam. You know that.
I just had to hear you say it. We miss your voice here today.
Listen, for all you callers that are out there, I want some input on the election's over, and I want some input on all these celebrities that are getting their nose bent out of shape and getting the country out of shape. If they want to move, let them get the heck out of this country.
Hey, Bob, you and I can help them pack.
Huh?
Well, here's the thing, Bob. You know, win or lose, no matter who you back, and I think the mayor said it right this morning. You know, it's possible they had the wrong person on that ballot. And, of course, the Democrats made that decision a long time ago, and, of course, this is the outcome. And now we have Donald Trump as going to be our next president. And if these people that are in this country don't want to stay here and fight for what they feel is right, then they should move.
Right.
Because if it was me and I was in a position where I dislike or like something that happened, I'll stay here and fight so that I can overcome that.
If you're going to be a celebrity, be a celebrity.
But you know what? They've all
in the politician,
all
political, you know.
Bob, all the celebrities that said they were going to move have turned around and now they're not moving.
Right.
They know this is the greatest country on the planet.
Yeah. Let's get some callers' input on this. 219-845-1100. What do you got to say about it?
219-845-1100. That's right. This is the greatest country. See, they're not moving. And what was a couple of the other stars? I think Cher and a few others.
Streisand.
All of them. Where are they moving to? They're not moving.
Yeah. Jupiter.
Yeah.
They were going to move, but now they're not moving. So anyway, 219-845-1100. And remember, today is Veterans Day. Let's support our veterans. Let's support our veterans every day. And
let me tell you something. You know, the day originated as Armistice Day. It marked the end of hostilities in World War I that occurred on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Therefore, whatever day it is, it's of the week it is, it's still on the 11th Veterans Day.
Listen, Bob, we're going to have to let you go. You know why? You just lit up the whole board.
Good.
Wow, all right.
You lit up the whole board, Bob. All right, buddy. We'll see you next week.
All right.
All right, Tammy, you're on Veterans Views. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I would just like to, first of all, thank all our veterans and for them all the time. And I would like to... You know, I know it's funny with this election and everything, and people leaving the country. Well, I say good for them. Let them go. If they have that kind of thought process that they think it's better someplace else in another country, they are out of their minds, and they know that. But I would also like to very quickly, other than thank our veterans and pray for their wellness, and I hope that Donald Trump does everything that he is going to do for the veterans. I pray that it happens sooner than later. I would also like to share with the veterans a Sunday morning at 10:45 at First Baptist Church in Hampden, Indiana. We are honoring the veterans of the area or anywhere if they come in to town. We are having a special day for them, and we'd like to thank them all personally. And I would just like to invite them to our church and let us thank them personally, those that can make it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Tammy.
Thank you very much, Tammy, and certainly we appreciate your support on Veterans Views radio program. Thank you.
Oh, we do support you. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
God bless you,
Bye-bye.
too. MX, go ahead, MX. You're on Veterans Views radio program on Veterans Day.
Well, thank you for your service, for all the brave men and women who served this country. I do want to say something. We stuck with Al Sharpton because Obama made a law that if you owe more than $50,000 in back taxes, you can't leave the country. We're stuck with that dude forever. I do want to say one thing. You know, after 27 years after my dad died, I found his original papers. He had 2 Bronze Stars and a Purple Heart. So I wonder why he never told me nothing. You know what? I think he didn't want to burden me. You know what I'm saying? War is so hideous.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he didn't want to do. That's why I grew up wild, because he should have burdened me with it. Because now I've got that feeling. Wow, you know,
MX,
war, but
you're a civilian, correct? Were you in the military? Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, a lot of.
I can put it to you this way: I was jumper. I was a little jumper in World War II. I'll put it to you that way, because that's how I feel about it. You know, the respect I have for veterans.
But as a citizen soldier, don't you think that the veterans deserve more from the VA, especially this health system they have, than they're getting. And we mentioned that earlier on the show, the long waiting lines, the overbooking of appointments, calls that can't get through, the suicide hotline, which in some cases isn't answered, and these guys are killing themselves. What do you think?
Here's what I know. Obama gave money, took money from the veterans, $2.6 billion, and gave them to the Syrian refugees. I think that's despicable, and that's what I know. And I think Trump will change that around, and there will be no more Social Security money coming when the Syrians and Muslims come over. That $17,500 they get.
How long do you think that it'll take this change to happen with the new president?
I think Obama's got about a day's work. I think he'll tear up TPP. Okay, he'll adjust NAFTA, and he'll throw Obamacare away. That's where I'm at, guys. But thank you for your service.
All right, thank you for your view, MX. All right, we got Joe on the line. Joe, go ahead. You're on Veterans Views radio program.
Good morning, Pat. Beautiful day.
Yes,
beautiful day, Joe. It's Veterans Day. What's going on out there where you're at?
Well, I tell you what, I enjoyed the ceremony at the Veterans Court in Porter County. We added one step to the process in graduation, and that was for each young man who graduated, the arresting officer was at the end of the line of congratulatory type things.
Really?
And,
that's cool.
And it was
that's cool, though.
moving.
That's the way it should be. You know, you do something wrong, you get arrested. You know, you don't hold no animosity against the arresting officer because he's doing his job.
Yep.
And it started the path of dealing with your personal issues, and it was just a wonderful step. And thing I would just want to encourage everybody, just like you're passionate about the issue of veterans situation in the VA, I think with all these silent majority that came out to vote, the 60% or better, pick an issue. Get out there. You know, if it's veterans courts, get involved with that. Get involved with, the homeless. Get involved with something. Make this country better. Work together. That's all I have to say today.
Well, Joe, you're pretty sharp today. I got to hand it to you. You're right on. And, of course, like we mentioned earlier, Lake County Veterans Courts needs more mentors, and we're looking for more mentors. You could go to the Veterans Court down there, and you can get an application, or you can see me at the DAV meetings, and I have applications. But the head bailiff, Joe Kwasny, and the judge, Julie Cantrell, have applications in their court. You go right up there and you can get the applications. Need more mentors to help these guys out because the Veterans Court's the best thing going in the whole country. All right, thank you very much.
Patrick?
Yes, Joe.
One last thing. Remember 5 years ago when we just got the idea to create this Veterans Court and start pushing at the American Legion?
That's right.
That's right. You're on Veterans Views. We did our job.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's 52 veterans courts in the state of Indiana and rising. So we had an impact, up here in northwest Indiana, and I'm glad other people are catching on to it. And you have a good day.
Well, quick thing, Pat. Last night at our board meeting, we were with the state commander for the DAV. And all I can say is that there are some things coming down that you're really going to want to watch. That the DAV is going to be involved in with the Veterans Court. So stay tuned to that. You're going to see some really cool things getting ready to take place. Second of all, as most people know, I'm a registered nurse. Before Obamacare came in, I was working on a dissertation towards a doctorate. And I told them that socialized medicine would not work. They refused to give me my PhD through Purdue Cal and through IUN. Now those same professors see me in the stores and they say, how did you know? The writing was on the wall. This isn't rocket science.
You're right.
Let's
see what Joe has to say about this. Joe, Nick, you're on Veterans Views radio program.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Peace to America.
Peace to all over the world. That's what we need.
Peace to all over the world and goodwill to all of our brothers and sisters.
But I don't know if it's going
to... The Veterans Court, I hope you consider. The only people that they accept are people who who are guilty, because they don't do anything to defend the innocent. You have to take a guilty plea, but you have to be guilty to begin with to even participate with it. And I think that was a lack of oversight. That was a real lack of foresight when this got started.
Well, I'm going to have to check on that.
But that's the one thing. If I could say something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the I've been using the VA since I come back from Nam, and that's been a long time. And your prescription back, and you have no glasses, and you have no money to buy any on the outside, that's an issue. I try to find out about it. Well, why is that? And they said, well, the VA lab there's only one lab that handles 15 medical facilities. To finally find out it's not a VA lab, it's a private company that's been contracted to the VA. So and they said, well, why don't you just hire more people so you can handle all the vets? And I said, well, if we hire more people, we have to charge you more for our glasses.
So the glasses are made, of course, by a private company that's contracted out.
Right.
And how about the blood tests they do? Is that in-house? That's in-house, isn't it?
It's in-house.
Yeah.
It's in-house. But I'm just saying, and so one time I carried, I've had 3 different pair of glasses that have broke on me, or lenses just popped out. And I went to them and I took them back multiple times, and the lady said, well, they're cheap glasses. So I bought the most expensive ones, the titanium ones. And I had the same issue. So, but anyway, that's personal. But the reality, everybody, if you have to wait for your prescription, it was 8 to 12 weeks. Now they moved it from 8 to 10 weeks. And so if you need glasses to see with, that's like, what is this?
They're probably made in China.
Well, wherever they're making them, if you tell a person you have to wait 10 weeks for your prescription, and that's a private lab, and when you ask people about it, nobody knows anything. Anyway, that's my complaint about the VA. That one part is privatized.
Well, the one thing I would really like to see Trump do is make it where all these senators and congressmen have to go to the VA for their care. I think you'd see a change overnight.
Yeah, well, they used to send you to OptiCare or an optometrist or a business that actually did it for you within a couple of days.
Yeah.
But, and well, off that subject and kind of on to the election just went by. Part of the reason why our republic works is because we have different branches so that they can countermand each other. It's a balance. Now that we have one party controlling everything, that is why that looks like a blow to our republic, not an asset. If you have one party that says they're conservative when our country's really a liberal country to begin with, what's the principles? Property rights and personal liberty. And so when you have people going on and on about how conservative they are and how they are conservative and family, everybody that's got a family's got values. It's not just a certain party has values. And if you don't understand what compromise is, that's how our democracy works. That's how our republic works. We compromise. We make things work. We try to make things work for everybody. So I listen to people, last few days talking about how the Democrats here are really the enemy, and we need to wipe them out in Indiana. So how does that really work? And it's a big joke.
Well, we thank you for your views, Nix. We have another caller. We're getting ready to wind down on time. So thanks for calling in.
Okay. By the way, Riverboat operator, Riverboat pilot in 68, 69.
All righty there, Nick.
Have
you
a good
take
day.
care. Have a good Veterans Day. Sue, you're on the line with Veterans Views.
I just have a couple of statements, and, you guys can run with it. One, the football player that will not do the national anthem and his meals.
Now that's going to get me wound up.
Yeah, us
Well,
too.
that's why I'm doing this. And then the other night I was watching the news after the election the next day. There was a lady that was protesting in Chicago, and she was wearing a T-shirt that said, "America was never great." And
What?
Then, yep. And then on Facebook, they're printing the same thing. America was never great. Well, my personal opinion, you don't like it here, go anywhere you want to go.
That's right.
And I understand we have freedom of speech, but my father and my brother were in the military. I have many friends that were in the military, and all I can say is God bless America. And, if you don't like it, go somewhere else, because I think it's a big, huge shame on society if that's how you're going to act.
I
So
think.
I'm going to let you guys talk.
All right, thank you very much, Sue. Let me say this, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go to sponsors. The United States, we liberated all these countries during World War II.
That's right.
From the Nazis and the Japanese, and we liberated the Philippines. Now they've turned on us. Well,
Yeah.
We've liberated all of Europe, and all these people are saying America was never great. Yeah, we've had our faults. Way in the past, we had our faults. And, of course, all countries have. But it's up to all of us to make it better. And that's what we're here to do, make things better. And, of course, for all those who feel that America was never great, they need to take a look around, or they don't know their world history, or they don't know the history of the United States. All these countries, all of them, have had problems. And we're just as among all of them. But we have stood up for these countries so people would be free.
That's
and
right.
it's our veterans who have been on the forefront of doing that. All the time, people are complaining about the United States. Well, keep complaining. You're right. You couldn't do that in Soviet Russia under the communists.
Right.
You couldn't do that in a lot of countries. But you can do it here. Try doing it in Cuba under Castro when Castro had the regime.
Yeah.
And of course, I get a kick out of these people. They can say, they can demonstrate, they can do anything they want. We can all do that.
Right.
Because we have that right as United States citizens. And it's unfortunate that people believe that this country was never great. Well, show me one that was greater.
That's right.
Okay, let's keep moving on here. I'd like to thank American Legion Hammond Victory Post 168, Disabled American Veterans Group, Chapter 17, located in Hammond, Indiana. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, 219-844-0103, located at 7207 Indianapolis Boulevard, or you can visit him at www.prestimerinsurance.com. Calumet Park Chapel and Cemetery, owned and operated by a veteran. Located at 2305 West 73rd Avenue in Maryville, Indiana. You can reach them at 219-769-8803 or the chapel at 219-736-5840. You can also call them for a special veterans savings on a complete burial package. They're having a ceremony today for veterans at 11 o'clock. I'll be there. So if you're out and about and you want to stop by Calumet Park Cemetery and Funeral Chapel, and they will be having a ceremony there for the veterans. And Bill Emerson, Hammond City Councilman of the 4th District, also a member of Veterans Views radio program, waiting American Legion Post 80. You can call them for hall rentals at 219-659-0215. And today, you can get a free car wash at Easy Clean Car Wash. Today is Veterans Day, and of course, Easy Clean Car Wash, Highland, Cherville, Lansing, supporting our troops in Pearl Harbor, will give you a free car wash if you're a veteran. Dan Spitali, Councilman at Large, Calumet Bakeries in business since 1935, located in Chicago, Lansing, and Whiting for all your baked goods, wedding, and holiday needs. And of course, we thank all these sponsors for supporting the Veterans Radio Show. Ernie?
Yes, Commander O'Donnell, Commander Steve. Commander American Legion Post 168, Hammond, a Victory Post 168, that is. I'll just go through the list real quick because we have a lot on our plate here this morning, still going. But these are some locations that honor our veterans on Veterans Day by giving you special discounts or even an entire meal. For example, Applebee's. And they give a free meal, but I'm not going to go through the particulars. I'll just go through the names, okay?
Okay.
Bar Louie, Bob Evans, Boston Market, Chili's, and Cracker Barrel, Chuck E. Cheese, Fridays, Golden Corral, Hooters, let me see, Munchies, Charlie's. I haven't heard some of these places.
Texas
Outback
Roadhouse.
Steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse, Red Lobster, just about everybody pretty much. And then moving on here to the national parks on Veterans Day, they get to go into national parks. That's cool. Home Depot. Well, Home Depot always gives a 10% discount to veterans.
That's right.
Very supportive of veterans. And Cabela's, but that's just a list of few. You can probably Google them up online.
Texas Corral.
Texas Corral.
Texas Corral.
Yeah,
the
Old
one
Country
out-
Buffet.
That's the one out in Maryville?
Yes.
And
Okay.
a car wash, too, didn't you, Commander?
Yeah,
Down?
you get a
Easy-
free car wash
easy car
today at
wash.
Easy Clean Car Wash.
Yeah, and that's just some of the things going on for Veterans Day. And
Now, Golden Corral is the 14th.
yes.
That's the
Oh,
evening
that's
of
the
the 14th. Yes.
Okay.
You need to look on the internet because some of them are staggering and not doing it all on the same time. Like Red Lobster's giving it like for a few days. So,
Right.
but you know, Ernie, I gotta make mention of this. You know,
Yes,
I'm the one
Commander.
that got that started with Golden Corral. They were the very first restaurant to jump on board with this, and I showed them how they would make money by giving the veteran free meals, and
Okay.
it snowballed. And I've even spoke with Gary Sinise on this fact.
Well, you're quite the
So-
guy. And, in honor of you doing that, we're going to ask Harold Hull if he can bellow out another tune for us.
Well, we're going to
kinda
let him
short.
do that in a little bit because we're going to be on the air a little longer than
Oh, okay.
anticipated.
All right.
So,
Good,
you
good.
know,
Well, then we'll ask anybody who wants to call in for free ticket to the concert tomorrow night after the Veterans Appreciation Day Parade. We
And-
got a handful of tickets.
and-
What does Veterans Day mean to you? You got 2 tickets free
so
right here.
come on, call us in, and we want to know from all the vets and citizen soldiers out there, what does Veteran Day mean to you? And we're going to right now go back to Ernie Dillon. Ernie, what does
Now-
it mean to you?
Well, I tell you, it means, of course, you know me about honoring our flag and standing when you're supposed to stand and honor your military salutes or hand over your heart and during the Pledge of Allegiance. And it means freedom. It means the opportunity to enjoy all that we enjoy, and everybody knows what the meaning of that is. And when you served in a third world country like most of us have, and you get home, you kiss the ground and say, thank God for the good old USA. Love it or leave it.
Harold, what does it mean to you, Veterans Day?
It means an opportunity to grow up understanding that we have a beautiful country and that we should appreciate the things that our parents did for us. And, to leave our home was so difficult for me, I know. And I would think that anyone that served in the military learned a lot just from reaching out and going. I'm blessed. I had beautiful parents, and they taught me to love my country.
Steve, what does Veterans Day mean to you?
I'm a longtime veteran. I've served in the Army, Navy, and Marines, and my family goes back 241 years. They've served this country.
Wow.
In the military.
Civil War. 240. They
Revolutionary
must have been
War.
the first Marines.
They
They were in the first Marines.
My grandmother
That's right.
my grandmother was a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution because of it, and we are descendants of Ben Franklin.
Wow.
So my grandmother was a member because of that, and you have to be able to prove with papers of archives of the government who your family was that fought in the Revolution in order to become a member. And my grandmother was a member because of Ben Franklin.
No kid.
So,
That's
yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that about Steve. I find out something new every day. And I'm going to ask my wife, Sylvia O'Donnell, over here,
the microphone.
how she put up with me all these years. No, I'm going to ask her what she thinks about Veterans Day. Sylvia, what do you think about Veterans Day?
I'm very proud to be married to a Vietnam veteran. I'm proud to live under the flag of freedom for a family that came from Cuba and came legally. I have an uncle that swam from Cuba to be free of communism. I'm happy to be an American, born in New York.
She had to throw that New York thing in here.
Well, what about you, Commander O'Donnell? What's it mean to you, Commander?
Well, let's remember on this day the service our veterans did for this country and renew our national promise to fulfill our sacred obligations to our veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much so that we can live free here in the United States of America. Let us remember all the veterans who gave their life for this freedom.
Right.
Let us think about what our flag means when it's draped over a coffin and people at football games who are getting paid millions don't want to stand up to salute it. They have no idea. Maybe they should be put in combat, or maybe they should live in some other country for a while and see that this country is the greatest country on the face of the planet. You know, it's funny because patriots are scarce men. They're brave. They're even sometimes hated and scorned. And when his cause succeeds, when a patriot's cause succeeds, it's the timid that join him. For then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Now, a lot of things are happening in this country, hopefully now. And in the next 4 years, the president will step forward. And I got to say this about Obama. He gave the veterans a raise. You know, I mean, he was good to the vets. But the VA system, it needs to be revamped. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done right away because the veterans are dying because of these waiting lines and all this stuff that's going on across the country. And we need to be forever watchful, all the veterans out there and the citizen soldiers, to how we treat these people who have sacrificed so much that our veterans have to endure these things at these VA hospitals. Thank God we got a great clinic here in Crown Point.
Commander O'Donnell, just briefly to add to that, because you're right on with that, and the past election, just a little tidbit here, FYI, that more and more veterans are joining the elected positions. For example, some half dozen fresh-faced veterans won seats in the House of Representatives by the wee hours of the Wednesday morning. I won't go through the names, but Tuesday's election underscores a growing trend of veterans from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that are becoming in elected positions in the House and the Senate and then throughout the United States. And that, I think, is a good thing when you get military people who are now serving as elected officials, been there, done that. They know what we go through, what we do, and what we need. And let's hope they implement that. And do not forget where you came from in the ranks of the military service as you move forward with helping our veterans. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way, Ernie. Yeah.
That's the way I feel. What about you, Harold?
What about you, Harold? What do you feel?
I already gave my view. I'm ready to sing.
All right, what do you think, Commander O'Donnell? Let's have at it.
Well,
come on, we got time.
We're going to have an overtime show today, so if you want to call in, it's 219-845-1100, 219-845-1100. So give us a call, 219-845-1100.
Go ahead, Harold.
We're on overtime on Veterans Views radio program. Harold?
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night in the light from above. From the mountains, through the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
And all of you.
Only on Veterans Views.
Only on Veterans Views here today. And
it's November 11th.
God is going to bless America, and I'm going to tell you something right now. If people don't like it here, get out.
November 11th,
That's all I can say about that. Get out.
16.
None of those movie stars are really moving. It was a big... So
we just saw Bob on the TV on our Price is Right, didn't we?
Price is Right. We seen him on television. We just watched him on there.
Price was wrong, Bob.
Happy Veterans Day to all you citizens.
He wasn't. He had the prices wrong.
Jewel
yep.
And others.
Well, we're running overtime today. It's 2:02, and
call in for tickets, please.
And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. So, for all you people, we're going to take this one last caller right now. We're going to take this last caller on Veterans Day. We got a veteran on the phone. We got Joe on the line. Joe, go ahead. You're on Veterans Views Radio program. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, Pat, I just want to remind everybody that the American Legion in 2015 filed claims, and our veterans got $85 million in the state of Indiana. We need to join the Legion and promote the good causes that we fight for, especially the veterans rehabilitation.
And not to mention Comfort Warriors.
Comfort Warriors and the Veterans Courts and the Legacy Fund, and the Emergency Financial Aid. We do a lot of different things to help our veterans and work in our communities.
Exactly right, Joe. And one more thing about the American Legion. The American Legion members do not take one dime. They're all volunteers.
That's right.
Not like some of these other organizations. The same with the DAV, same with the VFW, same with AMVETS. If you want to donate to a veterans group, look it up. Find out how much money is being taken by administrative costs. But remember this. Join the American Legion if you're a veteran. Join the VFW. Join the DAV if you're a disabled veteran. Join AMVETS. Get involved in all of them. It doesn't cost more than sometimes $30 a year. A year. It's nothing. You spend more in a casino boat in one day.
Just to remind everybody that your discharge paper permits you to have the freedom to be a patriot and continue doing service to our country in the way you choose to do so.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Again, 219-845-1100. We're going to wrap it up here now on Veterans Day. We got a lot of stuff to do. And, of course, I'll be at Calumet Park Cemetery and Chapel at 11 o'clock. We've got we've got something we're going to do over there.
Busy work.
I hit my head the other day. I can't remember anything. But we're going to be over there for a doing, and it's going to be for the veterans. And, of course, if anybody's in the area, stop by. I'll be there. And the Calumet Park Cemetery is owned and operated by veterans, and, of course, they do a lot for the vets. And, of course, don't forget Easy Clean Car Wash. And don't forget Ron Pressmer over here for insurance. He's been helping
all our sponsors.
He's been helping all our sponsors. He's been helping the Veterans Show since the beginning. So get over here on the boulevard, look up Pressmer Insurance. We're appreciated of all the people that have helped Veterans Views Radio Show. We are going to go off the air right now, but until next week, one last time, last call, Ernie Dillon.
Yeah, Ernie Dillon here, United States Air Force. I'm honored and proud to have served my country. I do it again. And God bless America. Hug a vet today. Happy Veterans Day.
Harold Hall. Harold?
Yes.
Quick.
Go ahead.
Enjoy the day. It's a great day, and the sun is shining, and happy day. Just God bless everyone.
Steve?
Well, as a veteran of 3 branches, all I can say is God has blessed me and my family, and it's because of this freedom that we have that my family goes on day by day. So God bless America.
Thank you very much, Steve. Until next time, this is Veterans Views Radio program. This is Veterans Day. Celebrate it, enjoy it, and thank the veterans for serving, and remember those who have passed in defending this country and the freedoms that it represents. Until then, may God bless America.
tomorrow all the things were gone. I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly